Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Chicago at its Finest, the podcast for the masses. Again, I'm with my co-host, Izzy Isabella. Please say hi.
Hey, guys.
Thank you very much. That's great. I love it. We're back with another episode of True Crime in Chicago History. We just finished up last episode with the Tylenol murders, talking about how you can't trust no one. And in this case, same thing. Can't trust, even if you're a criminal, cannot trust anybody.
I'm scared.
Can't trust the police. Can't trust your nana. Can't trust your mom. Or the shoes you wear. They might fall off.
What about yourself?
Fight Club. Anyway, we're going to be talking today about the St. Valentines Day Massacre.
Ooh.
Yeah, it sounds pretty scary. And it actually kind of is very gruesome, to be honest with you, because it does involve murder. It does involve corruption.
Romance?
If you like the hue of red in the blood, if you like that, that's romance.
Oh, no.
That's how you should like it. So the context of the situation is that we're in the Prohibition era of Chicago's drinking prohibition. That means that we have all different kind of gangs all across the Chicagoland fighting for territory to distribute alcohol. You know, like speakeasies, hidden bars with the walls, anything that they would sell alcohol on the street if they could without getting caught. So prohibition in Chicago is a big, big thing. Because what does that remind you of? Who does that remind you of? Do you know this?
Prohibition?
Yeah, who does that remind you of?
I don't know. My European friends that drink a lot.
True. But Al Capone.
Oh, yeah,
the
that's
big
right.
boss man, Al Capone. Scarface himself. He's one of the major players in all criminal history in Chicago between the Prohibition era and his death.
Yeah, you know what? If you're a tourist, you're coming to Chicago, if you go to all the tourist shops, literally half of the merch is Al Capone stuff, guys.
Al Capone. Tommy guns. So basically, like it's a gang turf war. They want this side of the street to sell, and they want on that side of the street to sell, and they have to hide from the cops, who are all paid off and corrupt. And it was George Bugs Moran on the north side gang, woo woo, and south side gang Al Capone. Hey.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And these guys are bloodthirsty. I mean, they're making big money selling this alcohol on the street and these speakeasies and saloons and stuff. They're slanging this alcohol, hiding it from the police, and I mean they're getting it from the south. They're rum running. You know, rum running.
Yeah. Driving
casks and kegs of liquor to hidden houses to stash, to the cities to sell. I mean, it happened everywhere, and that's how the mob started transpiring into like Wisconsin. Those were hideouts. Minnesota, those were hideouts. Michigan, those were hideouts for all these gangsters to hide out while they're getting mad money off this alcohol shit.
Right. This north and south stuff is reminding me of like the Sox versus the Cubs.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I like Al Capone better, but I'm not a Southsider, so.
Oh, you're a Cubs fan?
I am a Cubs fan.
Me too. Okay, so we're in the clear, and I've got to murder you then.
Yeah. Because, well, to my benefit, I did have a Sox hat, and I did have a Sox jacket, and I got rid of it because, you know, they became the worst team in baseball a couple seasons ago. And I was so embarrassed to wear a Sox hat, not just because I'm a Cubs fan, because I usually just wear it for fashion. Like if I had black and white on, I would put the Sox hat.
Their stuff does look cool. You know, it's pretty foolproof. It's black and white.
Like you ever see the video Nothing But a G thing? With Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre? One of those guys got a Sox hat on. Like they're all the way on the West Coast repping the Sox.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, the gang-related murders escalated through the 20s. They're just capping people everywhere. You don't like my stuff, hey?
Bang, bang. With both the guns on the sides like this.
Yeah, draw, see? There was a reach of 64 murders in a year at one point.
That's absurd.
That they could discover.
What is the math? Isn't that like kind of like a little over 8 a month?
That's crazy.
No, that's wrong.
Well, it's a lot. It doesn't matter. It's still a lot because...
That's still a lot, though. You're
just killing people because you know what the situation is. They're not paying you. They're not doing what you want to do. And they're going to tell on you. Those are like the three major reasons. They're telling on you. They're not paying you. You're not doing what you want to do. So you're like, get out my way. Boom. Boom, bitch, get out my way. Bam.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Yeah. So this situation takes place. Okay, so there's 7 guys that get rounded up by these guys who think they're fake police officers. You know, they're gangsters just disguising themselves. They round up these guys from the gang. And they were cruising around in a black Cadillac back then. No dubs, though.
That's pretty badass.
24s, cars, and clothes. They don't have that.
Jeez.
They just got the black caddy, which is cool. You know what?
I like old cars. I like old cars, old times, old music, but I don't like how there was like no security and how they would just like walk around with duffel bags full of money and then guns on their sides like that. No, thank you.
I think Capone himself had a bulletproof car made, and they would light that shit up. Like, you know, in the movies. If you watch The Untouchables, you'll know what I'm talking about. You know,
they don't make it like this no more, guys.
Well, yeah, no one's gonna bulletproof the Rolls Royce.
I would just for the plot. I'd be like, oh yeah, I have a bulletproof Rolls Royce, guys. No one can get me.
Honestly, I would not even waste my time on a bulletproof car, especially if it's a Rolls Royce, because I would just get out of the car and run.
And that's why you get shot and die.
Well, I'll leave it up to chance for myself. How about that?
There you go.
So at 10:30 a.m. on February 14th, 1929, that's Valentine's Day, babe. We're talking about Valentine's Day. I love you. Do you love me? Not anymore, because I killed you.
Right. That's scary.
So this Cadillac stops in front of a cartridge company in a garage on North Clark Street, which was the front for the Moran Gang's prohibition activity.
Wow.
So this caddy rolls up, creeping up, rolling down the street, smoking endo. And
in my 6'4".
Yeah. So two of the four guys in the car got out, and they were police officers, so to speak. And they ran up all these guys, 7 dudes. And they took out 2 Thompson machine guns and shotguns and just blasted their asses.
Blasted.
I mean, they were like 70 rounds of ammunition were found. 70. I mean, that's a shotgun?
Yeah, imagine hearing that just like... That's so scary.
It's insane.
Yeah.
They opened fire on all 7 of them, and they all were killed. One guy was found barely alive. And the police back then, they're probably slapping his ass. Tell us what we want to know. Tell us what we want. And they're not, they're beating the shit out of this guy. He's already half dead. He's not going to give him anything.
Oh, man, that is just crazy.
Yeah, and he died. So, they have no recount of, why or who was shooting him. So, you know how police back then, they're like, I know who's going to be this. And they're, just going around cycling through the heads and the suspect profiles.
Right. No, I mean, if the guy's dead, that can't beat a dead horse. I mean. So,
the 7 victims, Frank and Pete Gusenberg, were the top gunners from Moran's gang. Adam Frank Heyer, John May, which is a safe blower, Albert Weinshank was a speakeasy owner, and Albert Kachelik was a bank robber. And Dr. Reinhard Schwimmer, he was an optometrist who was associated with the gangsters. Who knew? Man. They needed glasses at the same time. They needed glasses to see. If they put their contact lenses in their glasses, maybe they would have dodged the bullet.
You know what? Again, this is all so unlikely nowadays, but this is so believable back in the days and just crazy how they did this. But even my uncle, who's like a boomer, my great uncle, who's again still alive today.
Nice.
He was in Chicago and said that he had a friend who was a dentist. So he was a doctor, and he would literally bring in people's teeth as a joke.
Oh yeah.
What is it called? The mold and stuff like that, or the inserts, the teeth inserts or whatever.
Yeah.
My uncle wanted to play a prank on his friends and hit up the dentist friend. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna play a prank, blah blah blah," and then he's just pulling out teeth out of his pocket. I feel like that's illegal now. Back in the day, it was that's so funny. But nowadays, it's what the heck? You're going to jail.
It's like voodoo shit. He's got all the teeth and the bones. He's throwing them.
Right. Just imagine casually having bones in your teeth. I get it. Spaghetti in your pocket or whatever, but teeth. So
Bugs Moran was the intended target of this assassination, and he got away. So, he's probably got something to do with it, other than just being a target. He could have just said, light these guys up for me, and I'll get away, and you can just however payment that happens between that. But Capone was actually in vacation in Florida, in Miami, resting himself, eating well. When gangsters move to Miami, they get chubby. You know that, right?
Calamari, of course. I don't blame them. There's calamari, fresh seafood. If you don't, unless you're allergic, you're missing out.
I like seafood. I like shellfish, but I'm not willing to die for it. So.
Oh, I feel you.
Yeah. I don't know. Capone seems like a kind of cool guy if you get on his good side. So the suspicion quickly engulfed him, because when you got your suspect board at the police station, you're looking at you got top dog Capone, top dog Bugs Moran. You quickly investigate that. You feel like those are the culprits. 2 of the gunmen were indicted, but they weren't indicted on the actual murder. So they're rounding up guys and finding them for other crimes other than the actual murder.
Oh, man. Imagine sweating to death because you got caught by the police, but it's for something so small like shoplifting, but you didn't get caught for murdering.
Yeah, and they found some machine guns that were used in the massacre at this guy's house who crashed a car in Michigan, and they raided his house. But, you know, the guy was captured in 1931 and sentenced to life imprisonment, but not for the murder, for a separate murder, not for massacre.
Oh, wow.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what we were talking about in Tylenol murders. It's like things are just so dismayed that you can't even believe what you're looking at, but you have no trust and loyalty. Like that's what I'm saying. To do crime in the 20s, I would have thrived. I would have been bigger than Al Capone. I would have robbed every bank, got away with it. I wouldn't even have to murder nobody. I would have stole all the jewels, you know, because I would already know. Like, if smarter now than I was then, or maybe it's the reverse. Who knows? Because we're also based on technology. Maybe we don't know anything.
Yeah. You know what does surprise me, though? Speaking of murders in this day and age, did you guys see how the Louvre got robbed?
Yeah.
That was so nuts. Now, that reminded me of like a back in the day. That was some Looney Tune shit. I'm sorry. What do you mean you just like went up and just dropped the crown on the ground on a scooter and got away? That's just so God. Crazy.
A scooter? I hate those fucking scooters.
They're fun.
No, these guys are they're on the street. They're on the sidewalk. They're blazing trails. They're like going 50 motherfucking miles per hour on the sidewalk. I'm like, yo, watch out.
On the sidewalk? No, that's not okay. I mean, if you're getting away with a murder or a theft, then sure, go ahead. Right. But
I mean, well, I get they have the bike lane, and the bike lane's for bikes, scooters. You ever see those with the one wheel? Well, they have the plank on the one wheel?
Yes.
Those guys are insane because they be blazing the streets up, going like 80 miles per hour. I'm like, don't even care if you died. Don't even care. You have one wheel. You have one wheel.
That's crazy. Did anyone ever get found and arrested for the massacre?
No. So no one ever was convicted for the massacre itself.
Wow.
No, none of it. Only for separate murders, separate crimes.
Crazy.
So there's some historians that think that St. Louis had a crew known as the American Boys that might have carried it out. And they ignored Al Capone. So that's probably a diversion. So Capone probably made up some bullshit. Somebody else take the fault from him. And he got away, you know. But you know how Capone got it? You know how he got arrested?
Tell me.
Tax evasion. Yeah.
Really?
Didn't want to pay his taxes. Didn't report his taxes. He had a bookie that kept all his stuff for his probation stuff, but you know, he wasn't a sound guy.
That's just like the Tylenol stuff. Imagine putting cyanide in Tylenol bottles and then only getting caught because your one fingerprint was on a piece of paper.
And, you know, he died of syphilis too.
Oh man.
I know.
Karma got him. I believe in that.
But he's one of the most legendary gangsters all across the nation, Al Capone.
Oh, of course. And he's Chicagoan, so.
Yeah, big up to Capone. So whatever happened to the aftermath of this crime? So it marks a shift in Chicago organized crime. So the control moved from the Irish mob to Capone's syndicate. So they're just tracking movement and see where else is going. He became public enemy number one. The feds, they caught a lot of shit too. Because they're like, why aren't you catching this guy? We know where he is. We know he probably did it. We know we probably have evidence. Probability isn't the cause. It's because we don't have a cause. So they couldn't get him. So he died of tax evasion. He died of syphilis.
Crazy.
Yeah. In 1931, he was convicted of tax evasion. Probably got out of it too. So, honestly,
I wonder when he died. When did he die? Do you know?
Oh God, wasn't in the 50s, was it? He was a partier.
But like he was in jail when he died, right?
He got out. He was actually he went to Alcatraz one time and he faked being gay to get out.
Gay?
Yeah, story I read.
Well, that's for a different podcast because that's really interesting. I want to talk more about that.
To be honest, I really don't care. I mean, what the point is that if the federal government, and they lifted this eventually, because I don't know because we all drink today, they lifted the ban on alcohol sales, and we got our alcohol back. But the only reason the guy was a criminal, I mean, he's from New York and came to Chicago. But the only reason, I mean, he could have peddled anything. He was a gangster. But to be honest, he was only a criminal because he was selling alcohol illegally, and then became a gangster, a murderer. So if there wasn't a prohibition, a lot of people wouldn't have died, and the government probably just would have still been the same.
Yeah.
You got the vice grip on our lives, the government control. I don't want to go into that either, but I'm not paranoid.
Yeah, you're gonna make me paranoid. It feels like it's Halloween right now. It's summer.
Imagine that. I mean, have you ever held? Are you a FOID card carrier or a concealed carry?
I am not a FOID card carrier, but I have held a gun before.
Do you remember what kind of gun was?
It was a couple. My uncle's in the Army, so he had a whole lineup.
I mean, it's when you hold a firearm in your hand, whether it's loaded or not, a lot of things go in your head, and you're like, you feel the power. When you have a gun in your hand, you feel the power, because number one, someone's life is in danger, and that means you're involved because you have a murderous weapon. I mean, it's just the power of having a gun. No matter if it's a 22, a 38, a Beretta, Glock 9, it doesn't matter. Like you just feel like the empowerment. Like, yeah, I have a gun in my hand. And just your anxiety and your adrenaline in your head. You know, I've probably held a gun maybe a few times in my life. I never thought I was going to kill anybody, but to me, it was like, wow, this is how we win wars. This is how we protect our people. This is how we, unfortunately, become a serial killer. This is how we become a domestic terrorist. So many things happen if you just hold the gun at one point in time.
Yeah. That also reminds me of the gun laws and stuff. And I don't think guns could be a big problem. It's obviously more so the person using it, of course. It should be used for protection, but people do use it for crazy things like murders and stuff like that. And you know what really, really shocks me is we're in Illinois right now. We're in Chicago. And obviously to get a gun, you need your FOID card. You need a lot of accreditations, whatever. But in other states like Missouri, I don't think you don't need a FOID card.
It becomes so lax.
You can just go online and buy a gun.
You go to Bass Pro Shops and buy a gun.
Off the streets too. And you don't even know where that gun came from previously.
Because they file off the serial number. It's already been used for a murder.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Imagine crazy. That was a descendant, Al Capone's descendants, gun. No, I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, to have a shotgun, two shotgunners and two submachine gunners. I mean, the drum for Thompson machine gun probably carries more than 70 rounds.
My only experience with guns, guys, is Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies.
What a nerd.
Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2 Zombies. I don't know how to even say it. Keener D. Toten, the map. But yeah, that's my only experience with guns.
I just played Switch with my nephew the other day, and we played FIFA Club Soccer, and we played The Show 2026. And I don't play video games. I just house the system for when he comes over, and I just download stuff for him. But I hadn't played video games, and he literally picked it up when he got there, played for 15 minutes, knew how to play all the positions and all the buttons, and I'm sitting there going slow as a motherfucker. Well, how do you kick again?
That's crazy.
And then to think about that, people who are quick on their head foot and can learn things like that, those are people that could be danger to us.
Yeah.
Because if they get a gun in their hand, how many ideas of what they already know what to do with it are cycling in their head?
Yeah. Someone could probably have a great aim right off the bat.
A marksman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know. There's got to be some gun shops within the city limits, if not just outside, and plus shooting ranges. I bet a lot of people go there still and have their FOID cards and concealed carries and practice their aim and shooting. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what it's for. But I'm saying it's dangerous to know. This is the best part about it. We put a gun in a killer's hands, it's illegal. We put a gun in a security guard's hands, it's legal. Mm. Both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Who's to die, who isn't?
That's crazy. Well, at least Al Capone's out and over with, and you can buy his merch all over Chicago. So
yeah, I actually have a book. They came out with several novels, biographies, and then some half fiction, nonfiction. I have a novel. I forget the author, but it's basically telling Capone's tale about how he was into the business and was moving his way throughout in the mode of a story. So they added on a story to it to make it feel like it was an actual novel rather than just to be a biography. Mm-hmm. It was really interesting to know. What do you do if you're the top-notch gangster? And he was like a party guy. He'd go to horse racing. He'd go to the baseball games. He'd go out to nightclubs. He'd be at the speakeasies. He'd be doing his stuff. Now I don't think gangsters do anything. I don't know. They probably just hide out all day. They probably just have their own hood Well, they control everything. They live at the mansion, and that's all I can say.
Yeah, they're probably chilling.
Would you ever consider yourself to be a gangster at any point in time in your life?
I would say in a lot of situations it comes out of me, but I'm not going to identify as a gangster.
I know, because
there's situations where it has to come out,
you get that the push in your chest, you start pumping up, you're like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, one time someone tried to literally kill me and my dad on a bike.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it was road rage. We didn't even do anything. They just got mad. I don't know why. But they were literally trying to run us over. And my fight or flight, kicked in. I was like, this is literally life or death. They don't care that the little girl's in the back. They're going to try to kill us. It was crazy. Yeah. And at that moment, I felt like we had to square up with them. I was like, what the heck?
Well, I know. I mean, we already talked about 64 murders in that year. That's a lot of dead people.
Yeah.
I passed the cemetery. It reminded me when we were talking about the Bachelor Grove Cemetery, and I think I brought up a point about if you're ever driving on an expressway or down a road and you spot a cemetery and it's long, you pass it and it takes you 2 to 3 minutes to actually get done for passing the cemetery. That's a lot of fucking dead people.
Yeah. I have a weird superstition. Every time I pass up a cemetery, I literally say a prayer out loud or something because it's just scary. I want to at least acknowledge them that, I'm driving past the cemetery for 3 minutes.
Bless me for passing you without being dead and saying that I'm better than you. Bless you.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I would never, as a criminal, I don't think I would ever want to do a violent crime. I think I would rather be a thief. Maybe armed robbery but without killing somebody else. Just for show. But it's still.
You plotting that?
Every day of my life, babe.
Interesting. Well, maybe you'll only see me on the podcast next, and
yeah,
we'll have
in a jumpsuit from prison.
We'll have to tune.
Yeah, I'll be on the phone.
Literally.
Hello.
We'll do a semi-virtual podcast next time because he might.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't. Being in those times, kill or be killed.
Yeah.
So it's get off my turf, and that still exists today.
Yeah, it does, unfortunately.
And in New York City,
63rd,
Miami, Chicago, LA for sure.
Mm.
Gang territory is great. I mean, they just fight all day.
Let's not even get into Mexico, guys.
Oh,
Mexico's crazy.
Remember when they got the guy, they killed the guy, and Mexico went on crazy? That was just recently, end of last month, the beginning of this month. They fucking caught one of the leaders of a well-known cartel, not the Sinaloa cartel, but after that, the whole Mexico just jumped off. They're burning cars in the street. Guys are getting shot. I'm like, all this for cocaine.
Yeah.
Or fentanyl, I should say. Fentanyl.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. People do go crazy over this kind of things. And, cigarettes or alcohol. And
it doesn't hurt to be knowledgeable and be conscious and self-aware about what you're doing. That's why, if you're buying drugs from a drug dealer, it doesn't hurt for you to ask what it is. Be like, is this what this is supposed to be? Am I buying what I'm supposed to? It might sound lame. You're not doing a cool television show movie act where you're just trying to pick up a bag. But knowing that you have someone who you can talk to, be like, hey, this is not laced, is it? This is not this, is it? If you know this, you take the chance of not buying it if you knew there was something wrong with it.
Imagine you're getting something and they're just like, yeah, it's laced. What if they want you to die?
Well, honestly, it sounds stupid you said that, but it's not, because if they had a lace product and almost tried to sell it to you, that's because they're trying to sell it to somebody else or get rid of it.
Yeah, that can make sense.
Because if they know you don't like lace fentanyl drugs, or you don't want your Molly to be tainted, or your ecstasy, it just doesn't hurt to be knowledgeable. Research if you're going to get into drugs at any point in time from high school to college, go online, go to the library, read a book about this. It's all dictated. They already have writings about all this, the chemical compounds, the biological influences. Anything about it is already there. You just need to be educated about it.
Yeah, see, I would never trust that, and I would never do that. But it is always good to know what you're doing and not just be blindsided. Again, like we were saying earlier, just have common sense with everything and don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, don't
just don't even do it.
To do drugs. I'm just saying, be self-aware. If you're buying a gun from a Bass Pro Shops, it doesn't hurt to know what you're trying to look for before you get there, so you can ask the right questions.
Right.
So I don't know. I can never be a gangster because I never would want to kill someone. So I think there's a ladder to be a gangster. Is the top. You have to be a thief. You have to graduate to the levels of crime to be a gangster. And murder is the last one.
Yeah.
So I would never imagine. I mean, I hate some people in my life, but I'll just let them die by their own. Die by yourself.
Yeah. Honestly, again, that ties into mental health. I feel like I've had my fair share of hating people, I guess, but I can't even say that I hate them. I just like let it go and don't care anymore. But yeah, people have made me mad. I feel like that's human nature. But if I were to ever feel crazy feelings of like wanting to hurt them, I'm checking myself into the doctor or something because that's being responsible, you know?
I was told a very good quote from an ex-coworker of mine. He says, if the situation gets too heavy or it's something you do not like or makes you feel uncomfortable, just walk away.
Yeah.
Walk away.
Walk away.
Be a bigger person. Someone tries to start shit with you, walk away.
Yeah. I have preached that since I was young. I literally do not like conflict. I'm very confrontational though, don't get me wrong. But if it's a brick wall, dead end, I'm just walking away. I'm not going to, waste my breath.
Yeah. Well, there goes to be said, criminality doesn't always pay off. You're living underneath the radar, but you can't be surfacing yourself or else you get caught. So you're taking every channel but the actually right one. It's hard for some people, especially people who are underprivileged, who are impoverished. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have a lot of money or resources. And all they can resort to is what people are teaching them around them because that's all they see is to be a criminal. So like being in the 1920s and being a gunner or like a bootlegger, like those guys don't have a real life. That's their job. They're not going to go back to be a doctor. Okay? They're not going to go back to be like a construction worker. They got chose for this job. They're going to live with it or die with it.
Yeah, I know this is unrealistic, but you know what's crazy? Money heist, how they escaped and they went to like Spain or something.
Yeah.
Imagine all the crimes that happened back in the days and how they just got away. They probably did that. Like there's probably people from back in the days, like the 1920s who committed crazy crimes.
Yeah.
And then just like fled the country. And because they didn't have the same technology that we have now, they probably are living lavish in like other countries.
Well, how about the family members of all these people who are like, what if Al Capone was your great-great-grandfather and he still had money left in the state of Illinois or in this nation and you inherited some of that?
Okay, I'm uneducated on that. Like, obviously, the great-great-grandson wouldn't be in any type of trouble because it's not his fault,
well, however it transcended to be in their possession, to have that money and legally be abide by it, they're at least got a lot of money to keep themselves up for a while. If that's true to be told about how much money they have, you know what I'm saying? But crime is just another subject for a different day because I don't think that we want to be gangsters today. So
yeah, we'll save more gangster talk for next time.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to episode 4 of Chicago at its Finest podcast for the masses. We appreciate you tuning in, and please check out our videos on YouTube and let us know what you think.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great being here again. I'm excited for the next one.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We hold the best parades on holidays and festivals, holla hooray. You cannot beat the taste. I need more of you like I almost forgot where I am every day. The city I love, in the city we pray. We don't want to be covered in violence and blood unless they are trying to take it away.